Do you want to know how you can save all your chord progressions in your project as a visual guide when you make music in Reason, so that you can compose and record music more efficiently? Alright, so I'm going to share a great technique I came up with to save your chord progressions for your tracks so that you have them always visible at the top of your sequencer as a visual guide. I used to write the chords as labels up here on the actual chord track that I used to write my chord progression in, like this. Right click and add labels to clips. And then I know this is a E major chord, so I simply write E major on that, and then I do that for all the chords in the chord progression. And that had worked out quite nicely, but notice what happens when I scroll down to a track further down in the project. Let's say I want to record on this track here. Well, now I can no longer see my chord track, so I don't get the visual guide. That made me stop and think until I came up with this solution. Using the blocks feature as a chord guide for all your chord progressions in your project. Let me show you how. So the most common way to use the blocks feature is to write your track in sections, like the verse first and then comes the chorus and so on. So for doing that, you simply take out the pen tool and drag out the section which you're gonna use for, let's say, the verse, then go into the blocks mode and write a name for this block, call it verse, go back to song mode, and now we have marked a section called verse here. But I want to take this concept further, because I want to use the blocks to write the chord sequence. So if I take this and drag it further back, I know that my chords in this track are 2 bars long, as you can see here, because I have already written the chord progression. So then I just copy this block, 1, 2, and to all these parts, and now I have a block segment for each of the chords in this progression. And they are simply named what I named the block here, but how do I get the chord progression as a visual guide? Simple. You simply right-click and add labels to clips, just as I did on the clips on the individual tracks down here. And then you can simply write in E major here, and the next one, G sharp minor. I look over here to the right where I have the same chord progression, so I know which chords I have used. E major 7, and then fill in the rest here. So now when I go down in the sequencer and want to record something, let's say on this strings instrument here, I can still see the chord progression up here because the blocks is always on top. Click that subscribe button to gain music superpowers. I'm Mike, showing you my advanced tips and tricks on composing and producing music in Reason, because you rock, my friends. My name is Mike, and I share my story and journey as a music composer and sound designer to inspire creative people like you. So click that subscribe button to gain music superpowers.